Hi there, folks. This is Jetmir Troshani, yet with another recording. This time I will be covering the basics of the grade center. So what I've done here on this test course, I essentially created a set of folders here, which eventually I will be using to place my course content, and then students can later submit their assignments. To create these folders, I hovered over on build content folders. It is my preferred way to structure my course. And then I created this My Grades menu link, which will allow students to view their grades. I create that by hovering over here, selecting the tool link, My Grades. Select the tool link, My Grades here, make it available to them. So if I hit submit, essentially this is created. On the Grade Center, click on Full Grade Center here. I created a few columns here, 4 columns. I'll create another one just to show you how that's done. But if you see extra columns you don't need, like I never use total, for example, you can simply click and delete column. If you're not able to delete, you can hide it. You can hide it from yourself and hide it from students, so you don't need to have it here. To me, I like to work as neatly as possible. I only use where I need, and where I don't, I remove it. To create another column here, for example, say assignment 5. I'm going to also point possible. I always give 100. I give 100, and then as I grade the assignments later on, I'll make sure to create a weighted column, which will weight each column towards the final grade differently, as you will see in a little bit. Hit submit. And then now let's assume we have these 5 assignments here. The next step will be to create a weighted column, which will actually weight all of these columns. So I'll hit weighted column. I always call this final grade, because essentially it will turn into it. I have the option here to have a letter grade. You can have a score also. So primary display, secondary display. I prefer to only have one primary display and secondary display. I don't usually use it, but you have the option. Now, essentially, here are the columns that we created. We need to bring them from this area into the selected column. So we'll do the weighting here. So I can move them one by one, or I can click, press Shift, and bring them all here. Now, this is the area where I actually do the calculation. So the weight for each column, we are just assuming right now that each column is 20%, 5 columns, 100. It needs to add up to 100, basically. It's important. So do you want to show this to students? I don't want to show the final grade to the students. Essentially, this column will constantly calculate as you input scores on each columns that you created. This final grade column will calculate constantly. So I don't want students to see this now. I could open it towards the end when the time comes. So when, for the option, show this column to students, I'll keep it. No. Hit submit. You can now see that I have, let me just scroll to the right. You can see that I have 5 assignments column, and then I have the final grade. If you hover over, it should show you there. That icon stands for not visible to students. You can see that there is a B+ assigned already based on the scores that we added. But as we keep adding more scores, that grade changes. And the same thing goes for other students. Usually this is a first level workshop that I used to teach, which would help folks a lot with respect to organizing their grade center and calculating their grades towards the final grade eventually. So with that, I'll leave you guys for today. I wish you all the best and stay safe. And we're gonna hear from you soon on perhaps on a question and answer session that Pablo is putting together. All the best.